Good morning, everyone. Good to be with you. Just a few minutes ago, I received an update from state officials and emergency responders in the states with respect to the state's response to the storm. As you are aware, the Emergency Operations Center has been active since 11 a.m. yesterday. We also provided non-essential state employees with an extra hour to get to work today. Now that the storm has passed, we have begun to assess the impacts in the region. There are about 40 secondary roads currently closed due to downed trees and wires, but our highways are in good shape thanks to the work of those wonderful plow drivers that work for us and are contracted with us. Major highways are clear, but roads can be slippery. Please continue to exercise caution if you must travel today. State police responded to 166 motor vehicle accidents with 6 minor injuries over the course of the storm. We sustained significant power outages across the state. The heavy wet snow combined with strong winds caused roughly 138,000 outages reported between Eversource and UI as we speak. It hit a high of about 160,000 outages at one point during the storm. Our utilities have hundreds of local contract line personnel and tree resources dispersed across the state and are working to restore power in a safe manner. Their first priority today will be handling public safety requests. Please check on elderly neighbors, especially if your community has lost power, and if you can be of assistance to those neighbors, please do so. If you or someone you know is in need of shelter, please call 211. Be aware of carbon monoxide poisoning and fire threats. Please do not bring kerosene heaters into your homes. Please make sure your vents are clear. And please run your generators outside, not inside. Make sure all of your, as I said, all your vents are cleared. If there's a fire hydrant in your neighborhood, if you could help us out and clear a path to that fire hydrant. I know the trucks tend to push snow in the direction of those fire hydrants. We could use your help in making sure that you and your neighbors are safe. Our train system is running. New Haven line service are operating on a holiday schedule. The Waterbury line is expected to resume following the reduced schedule, while Danbury and New Canaan lines as well as Shoreline East are suspended, but we expect to resume travel later today. Connecticut bus service will be resuming. Customers are encouraged to check online for additional information. Bradley Airport is open and has remained open and running throughout the storm. However, there are cancellations, so you should check with your carriers. Travelers are encouraged to check again well before they head to the airport. Thank you, and I'll take some questions. Anybody? All right.
Governor, certainly power outages are a little large today. What are you hearing from utilities about restoration estimates?
Well, UI is at, as I just walked out, had dropped to about 3.9% of their customers being out. They're doing assessments and safety work, and they'll communicate with us. But obviously, they're also doing some restoration work because that dropped from a little over 4% in the last hour. Eversource, which has more customers out, is at about 10%, which would be on the cusp of a Category 5 lowest type storm to a Category 4. They too have crews out on a safety basis first, and then ultimately will be communicating with restoration, their restoration goals with us in the coming hours. Obviously, there are people without power. We understand that that's not optimal, and we're working with the utilities and watching the utilities in their recovery efforts.
Can you just speak to the need for people to be patient? I mean, crews are out working. We saw a lot of damage this morning. It's going to take some time with the trees and the lines that are down.
Yeah, there are a fair amount of trees that came down, and that spread throughout the state, although there's a lot of concentration in the southwestern portion of the state with respect to that, and that's driving some of those numbers. Obviously, power companies can't get their power on immediately. They have to, in many cases, take care of trees, remove trees, replace poles in some cases, because we believe some poles were taken down by the weight of trees and safety has to come first. So we will communicate that with you. I think people want to know when they're most likely to get their power on, and we certainly want to communicate that from the utility companies to you. If you have access to Wi-Fi service, you can go to their site, and I think later today they'll be posting those expectations. Again, right now, Eversource is at about 10% outage across the state. In UI is at 3.9%. Okay.
Have they given you any indication, though, that perhaps 24 hours, 48 hours is their goal, that they're working with, anything like that?
No, they have to do a full assessment. Each of the utilities has assessment teams in the field, there are different types of outages. There's equipment outages that will require the replacement of equipment. There are individual house outages because a tree on someone's property came down. Obviously, they tend to concentrate on impacting the largest number of folks they can with any given exercise of their abilities. And so, but hopefully by later today, we'll be able to forward some information to our citizens about a restoration. But it's early yet. Okay. Anyone else?
Are there any sort of preliminary estimates on the cost of cleanup for this storm and the last one we had as well?
No, I don't. We don't have any numbers yet, and we're watching. We're continuing to collect information on that, and we're looking for some snowfall numbers in various counties just to understand. You got from 3 inches to lots of inches of snow. Obviously, this was very heavy snow, and people should take caution with respect to take a break when you're removing the snow from your house, if that's what you're doing today.
Are there concerns about costs and resources, because there may be yet another storm coming next week, and March may not be done yet?
This is our own version of March Madness. We'll keep an eye on that, obviously. No one wants to spend any money. We live in New England, but no one wants to spend any money in the winter. We understand that. But I think the state and every community represented in the state puts public safety first. Okay?
Has the state received any requests for assistance from cities and towns?
Not as we speak at the moment. We have not received requests that I'm aware of. No, we've not received any requests yet. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Take care.